The last big, well, one of the big outstanding cases of 2021 finally wrapped up to a little bit earlier today, and it was a split verdict, okay? Elizabeth Holmes, Theranos, you guys might not be familiar with this one, okay? Because this one is a long time coming, it's a long time in the making. Mostly, it's just one of those big cases where a lot of money ended up trying to go in, okay? Trying to develop some breakthrough medical technology that ended up not really manifesting into anything other than enriching this bitch. And you know what? She got found guilty of a few of the charges, okay? And is she gonna end up doing a hard time in the fucking federal clink? I don't think so. It looks like she was successful in convincing the very, very well weighted and big ups to the defense by doing proper jury selection on this one. 8 men, okay, a whole bunch of fucking simps on that panel there, and 4 women who I'm sure were probably very sympathetic to, oh my god, my older gentleman who was really just pulling the strings from behind the scenes, but yet again forgetting how influential Elizabeth Holmes was in actually raising all of that money and what she was doing in order to raise the public opinion and the public perception of the company itself. She's the one who deserves to be going away like Bernie Madoff style, who didn't even go away for that long either, but she deserves to be fucking wearing this one, and like it or not, she's probably not going to end up doing that. But all we know right now is she is guilty on 4 of the 11 charges, okay? And sentencing is going to be off in the distance, so we won't know for sure, but there's an upward cap on the guilty verdicts that have been rendered. Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes was found guilty on Monday of conspiring to defraud investors in her blood testing startup that she built into a $9 billion company. Yes, she built. Okay. Jury in San Jose, California found Holmes guilty on 4 of 11 charges of fraud after 7 fucking days of deliberation. And also, there's 3 outstanding charges that they are deadlocked on, so those ones might get retried, but probably more on that in a minute. Each of those carrying a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Maximum sentence of 20 years. So again, she could be serving those 4 charges, okay, 4 right now. There's an outstanding, nobody knows for sure about those other 3 deadlock charges. So those ones could get retried by the government if they think that they have a case there, but more than likely they'll probably just be happy, and we got 4 of them, so she can serve nowhere near that 20-year cap, because that's for like fully aggravated sentences, okay, exceptional charges. And you know what, I don't think she has a criminal record or anything like that, and you know what, it's just white collar crime, so yeah, it's not going to hit that 20-year cap. You can fucking well write me down for that one. Holmes, 37, was convicted by the jury of 8 simps and 4 women of 3 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud by lying to investors about the company's blood testing capabilities to raise funds for Theranos. She was acquitted on 3 counts of defrauding patients who paid for tests from Theranos, and a related conspiracy charge. The jury could not reach a decision on 3 counts related to the individual investors, which the United States District Judge Edward Davila said he intends to declare a mistrial. Oh, okay, yeah, because like it said yesterday that came out, it's like, okay, we're deadlocked on these 3 charges, so what are we going to do? And then they just read the verdict of what they have there. So prosecutors said Holmes swindled private investors between 2010 and 2015 by convincing them that Theranos' small machines could run a range of tests from a few drops of blood from a finger prick. Yeah, she was running wild. There was a whole bunch of press that she was given, okay? A lot of favorable press, because she just adopted the look of Steve Jobs, literally black turtleneck, fucking acid wash jeans. Oh, she talks like this. I've got a low, memorable voice, and I'm gonna change the way that the medical testing field is done. Well, it was just all built on a foundation of lies. Well, it's only partially come crumbling down now. She faces up to 80 years in prison, sure pal, when sentenced by Davila, but could get a lower sentence. Will get a lower sentence, I guarantee it. Sentence date was not immediately set, and Holmes is expected to appeal. Yeah, no doubt. It's been a long case. Davila of California's Northern District told the jury, media reported. Yeah, because it's federal court, no cameras are allowed in there, or at least they are allowed, but no federal judges have authorized video cameras in the court so far. So this one's only been reported on by just a few people that's out there, but this one's pretty significant, okay? This is another one of those cases that was going on at the same time of Jussie Smollett. Well, even longer, because this case has been, I think it's like 8 weeks or something. It was going on for well over a month, okay? Just about 2 months or so, something like that. So yeah, it outlasted Kim Potter, Jussie Smollett, and I think it was getting started just after Kyle Rittenhouse, if that seems right, but whatever. Holmes rose to Silicon Valley fame after founding Theranos in 2003. Her net worth was estimated at $4.5 billion by Forbes in 2015. Wealthy private investors, including media mogul Rupert Murdoch, Walmart's Walton family, and Oracle founder Larry Ellison invested millions in the company after meeting with Holmes. Yep. Oh my god, pretty white girl with, good ideas, and oh, she's going to be very marketable. We can get in on the ground floor on this. She had a good hustle, but unfortunately she got caught. Holmes founded Theranos in 2003 when she was 19 years old. Wow, and she's going to change how medical testing is done at 19 years old? Lofty aspirations. How are you going to accomplish that? Oh, wait, you're not. Cool. And after some 10 years, had told investors that the company could detect life-threatening conditions such as diabetes and cancer with just several drops of blood taken by a finger prick. Lovely idea, okay? And you know what? Hey, a lot of those conditions can be found. I think pretty much all of them can be found by doing blood work. So it's not terribly, or rather too terribly, a massive step or a logical leap to deduce that, yeah, okay, just a small, unintrusive test that you can do at home can figure out if you have any life-threatening conditions is probably a good idea, but the company collapsed after the Wall Street Journal published a series of articles that suggested its devices were flawed and inaccurate. Holmes was indicted in 2018 alongside Theranos' former chief operating officer and her former boyfriend, Ramesh Sunny Balwani. Yes, and of course, she had pleaded not guilty to 9 counts of fraud and 2 counts of conspiracy, accusing 56-year-old Balwani of sexual abuse. Cool, where did you file any of that paperwork? And saying that this clouded her judgment. Oh my god, was he the one who recommended the really shitty fucking put-on voice? Balwani also pleaded not guilty and will be tried next month. Yeah, imagine this, okay? He's probably going to get the book thrown at him, and all we're going to have to do is just compare and contrast the sentences between the two, and you're going to see just the regular discrepancy when it comes to sentencing women. They get far lighter sentences, okay? It's been studied, it's out there, we already know. But what about the glowing praise Theranos got, okay, especially from the media, and how much money they ended up running through? Because that's what's central to this trial, okay? I could give a fuck about this bitch, okay? Oh my god, she just gave birth and now she's gonna be away from her kid, and I'm sure that's probably gonna be considered when it comes to the sentencing, because yeah, got this fucking old crusty judge that's out there that's just gonna, simp for the woman. You goddamn well better believe that's gonna happen. So yeah, later sentence, but she swindled a bunch of people out of money, okay? Whether or not I feel any sympathy for them is besides the point, but she did this shit, okay? And her shell company was just one of the biggest Ponzi schemes that you'd ever seen fucking happen. So how Theranos burned through $945 million in investments, while Elizabeth Holmes lived in a luxury $5,000 a month apartment in San Francisco. Fraudster firm was losing $2 million a week. A fucking week. This is like MC Hammer money that she's just pissing through. That's impressive. Had a $585 million deficit by 2015. Yes, when the house of cards came tumbling down. Theranos, the troubled Silicon Valley startup headed by now convicted fraudster Elizabeth Holmes, burned through $945 million it raised through wealthy investors, all while she lived in a $5,395 a month San Francisco suite with a jaw-dropping view of the Golden Gate Bridge. Cool. Did she ever consider jumping? Holmes, 37, was found guilty on 4 counts of wire fraud. Yeah. After deceiving investors into sinking more than $945 million into her faulty blood testing machines. Theranos raised nearly all of its capital from investing titans, including media mogul Rupert Murdoch, who lost $125 million and probably continues to still lose a lot more money thanks to Fox News' fucking failures. Former Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos, who gave $100 million. Well, she is retarded. Former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, I can't believe Henry Kissinger got caught up in this shit, who invested $3 million, and Walmart family heiress Alice Walton, who lost $100 million. Wow. At least, Kissinger only lost that $3 million, but if you know anything about him, he's fairly crafty, so I guess this is one of those later stages of life, just trying to stay alive, and maybe played off of that to insecurity. 5-month trial that exposed, wow, okay, so it was 5 months long, Christ on ice, exposed Holmes' dubious claims about financial success, ultimately revealed the company was a money sinkhole that lost nearly $2 million a week in 2013 and reported only $429,000 in revenue before going under in 2015. Yep. Raises just about $1 billion fucking dollars, makes $429,000. That's awesome. Bunch of lookers there that were investors. Jesus. Oh, but that's where she was living? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. There's a pretty iconic building in San Francisco. In late September, Theranos controller Denise Yam, who was in charge of overseeing the company's finances since 2009. Wow, could you have done a worse job? Or maybe you knew that the fucking gig was up and you were just trying to get yours, testified that Theranos was hemorrhaging big losses since 2010. So she was going to be the one who was going to turn this all around, right? The company recorded $16.2 million in losses in 2010, another $27.7 million in 2011. Fuck, man. The following year, the company recorded no revenue and lost $57 million. Christ, with numbers like that. That almost makes WCW look like it was well run during the late 90s. In 2013, which was when the company was losing nearly $2 million every fucking week, the company lost a total of $92 million. Yeah, so almost, not quite, but they tried to keep it up the best. 2014, the company accumulated a deficit of $376 million with a measly $14,000 recorded revenue. All right, so I guess 2015 was the big money maker. Yam said the losses stem from the company's investment into research and development of the failed blood testing machines. Holmes, who painted herself as a young tech billionaire. Oh yeah, she did, and it was propped up by literally fucking everybody, but we'll get into that in a hot second. And a modern version of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Yep. Was only a billionaire on paper due to her shares and actually only received a $200,000 salary. Oh, okay, cool. So how could she afford the $5,300 a month hotel? Interesting. Or not hotel, rather apartment in San Francisco. Very, very, fascinating. Yet despite the financial trouble, Holmes lived in a two bedrooms. $5,400. Okay, let's just round up for posterity's sake. Fucking terrible money. Oh my god. Like a $5,400 mortgage in most cities? That gets you a palace. But this bitch, terrible. 2 bedrooms, $5,400. And you're going to trust her with millions and millions of dollars of money? She also owned a $9 million home in the affluent Atherton, California, with her business partner Sonny Balwani in 2013, where he was doing nefarious things, allegedly, but not really documented. When things finally went under for Theranos in 2015, the company, valued at $9 billion, only had $429,000 in revenue and a $585 million deficit. Wow. Why was there such a discrepancy? Well, because of the adoring media. I remember. And also, you can see it right there. It's just a couple of faces that are blown up for fun, and she really does look that stupid. You got Elizabeth Holmes sitting down there with Joe Biden. Funny how that shit works, and funny how that's not getting any attention at all. The establishment media on Tuesday morning ignored then Vice President Joe Biden's involvement with Elizabeth Holmes, the founder of Theranos, though Biden cheered Holmes in 2015 for maintaining the highest standards, just once again showing you how good of a judgment of character Joe Biden has in developing lower cost blood lab tests with only the prick of blood. Yeah. If this shit never would have came to light, imagine who would be making the coof tests right now. Just saying. The establishment media ignored Biden's praises for Holmes, who was found guilty of 4 charges of fraud on Monday and a failed invention. The Wall Street Journal, New York Times, the Washington Post ran headlines on Tuesday's homepages about Holmes' conviction of fraud without referencing within the stories of the president's involvement. Biden met with Holmes in 2015. There it is, pictured right there. And even still, she's 37 now, so 2015. 2014, 7 years ago. Yeah, so that bitch was only like 30, 31. Okay. So at least 20 years too old for Joe. So that's why he's looking straight ahead. And that's back when Joe Biden could at least, complete a coherent sentence. And the hair on the front of his head was only as old as Elizabeth Holmes was at that point. And then the stuff on the back there actually didn't look like fucking old cottony wisps. Like he was a guy who probably could have ran for president at the time, but he was dealing with a lot of stuff. So, fair enough. But yeah, no, that's those are posts that are still up there on Twitter. Obviously, they're still readily available, but nobody's talking about it. Fucking weird, huh? It was a tremendous honor to have Vice President Biden visit Theranos and participate in a preventative healthcare summit, Holmes said of Biden's meeting.
I convene this roundtable as a call to action. Leaders in health must collectively come together because there is only the way that will change the healthcare paradigm from one focused on reactive care to one focused on preventative care. Nobody knows this as well as the vice president who has spent his entire career taking bold action to improve people's lives.
During the meeting, Biden spoke glowingly of Theranos and Holmes. Breitbart News reported, this laboratory of the future. You see the flying cars, and I think that's what they make here, right? That and things that you could use to keep your soup warm, right? Thermos, right? Oh no, wait, wrong thing. You can see all this innovation just walking through the facility and just really making my head spin. Hopefully that's a symptom that subsides in the coming years. But yeah, dude, the mainstream media all the way up until 2015 when all of a sudden everything came crashing down, they're just like, no, just burn it all. No, we don't have anything. Nothing to see here. No, we didn't talk about this bitch at all. It's the second coming of Jesus Christ. No, this isn't the female Steve Jobs anymore. No, everything failed. No, definitely they weren't doing that prior to her being convicted of being just a complete and utter scam. I remember this stuff. I think you guys do as well. And that's why I wanted to talk about this case. Jury has finally convicted Elizabeth Holmes, and for the first time, the godless grifter who literally put people in danger admitted her device was only able to complete 12 types of blood tests, not 200 as advertised. She also admitted her company used the same machine she tried to put out of business to perform the actual tests. Thanks to Holmes, people were given incorrect medical testing results. Can you imagine? Yeah, exactly. And while knowing this, Holmes was procuring the invaluable help of the corrupt establishment media, kept the grift alive for years, kept it going until her fraud of the company was valued at $9 billion. All right, so you got the USA Today in 2014, change agents. Elizabeth Holmes wants your blood, and it's a good thing. Click through to see more. Elizabeth Holmes is tall, smart, and single. Gross. Well, maybe not truly single.
I guess you should say I'm married to Theranos,
Holmes said with a laugh. Only she's not kidding. Yep, don't care. The New Yorker, December of 2014. Blood. Simpler. One woman's drive to upend medical testing, and talks about how great all of that stuff was. She even gave a TED Talk at the time. Business Insider, September 2014. The woman's revolutionary idea made her a billionaire and could change medicine. Instead, you might be able to walk into a Walgreens pharmacy and reportedly painless finger prick will draw just a tiny drop of blood, thanks to Elizabeth Holmes, 30, the youngest woman and the third youngest billionaire, who never had more than $200,000 a year, on Forbes' newly released annual list of the 400 richest Americans. Revolutioning the blood test is a golden idea. It is. Unfortunately, she lied about ever achieving it. CNN in October of 2014. What? The CNN bought this hook, line, and sinker? I can't believe it. She's America's youngest female billionaire and a dropout. Oh my God, don't talk about her mom's box like that. Forbes in July of 2014. Bloody amazing. Oh, that person who wrote that headline went on to work for BuzzFeed. Oh yeah, and you can watch all of her different interviews that are there, and you can better understand the affectation I put on my voice when I read any quotes from her, because it's distracting. Holmes knew exactly what she was doing. She understood the role that she was playing in order to become an establishment media princess. She knew the words and the phrases like objectification and not about me, and
every single day we're serving people and shifting the paradigm, and women can be the best.
Yeah, and all kinds of pablum about empowering women and girls. Yeah, no, cool. If they want to go ahead and extract resources from billionaires, you're gonna have to understand that there's consequences to pay at the end of this. So, sucks to suck, Elizabeth. Hopefully they're kind to you in the women's clink. But yeah, still, she ain't gonna get that fucking hard of a charge anyways. Because she knows Joe, and Joe vouched for her, even though he probably won't remember it anyways. But we're gonna have a through line on this stuff today. People with really bad takes on things. And up next, yeah, we got one of those clucking hens from The View, so you know it's gonna be good. With that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.